What's good? What's good? What's good? It's been a while. It's been a while. I think the last video I recorded was last month. So I am so sorry. It's just been so busy for me. Um, right now I serve as a principal at a Christian school. So if you are an educator, you can understand that in the months of February, March, April, and May, it gets real busy. And then on top of that, I am currently in seminary working on a master's in classical and Christian studies. So that has been um, taking a lot of time from me as well, on top of being a husband and being a father. But um, but yeah, I'm gonna try to get back on a regular routine with recording videos and continue to give you all my thoughts on particular topics. So, so yeah, today it's a fun topic for me. As you all know already by now, if you're someone who has seen past videos, that I am a huge Michigan Wolverine football fan. Um, and honestly, I'm a big Michigan fan when it comes to sports and athletics. So right now we are in the Sweet 16. We play Auburn, I believe, this Friday, and I think we can pull off this big win, and go to the Elite Eight. So, but but yeah, yeah, born and raised in Michigan. Was first introduced to Michigan football when I was a young lad. Charles Woodson, um, 97 Michigan football team. Uh, that was my first time really being exposed to college football and in particular Michigan football. So um, I'm a huge fan. Each year I root for us to go to the national championship, and it's probably going to be like that for the rest of my life. So yeah. So for the purpose of this video, I want to give you all uh, my top five Michigan football games of all time. Okay. Um, so yeah, let's get the ball rolling. And I think I'm also going to do, if I get some time, my top five worst Michigan football games of all time. Uh, so, but yeah, yeah. Uh, Before I get into my top five, I will have to say that my favorite coach, or two favorite coaches, all time who coached, excuse me, the Michigan Wolverines are Jim Harbaugh and Lloyd Carr. So I wasn't alive or I didn't watch football when Schembechler was the head coach. So for me, it would have to be Jim Harbaugh and Lloyd Carr. And so another thing I would have to do, I would have to give you my honorable mention. Okay, I have three uh, games that did not crack the top five, but they did make my honorable mention list. Okay. Um, the first one, I would say probably if I had to give a ranking, I would have to say this was probably number 6. Michigan versus Penn State 2021. That game was epic. Uh, Here's why. That was the game where we already had one loss to MSU, and really, this was the game that put us on the right trajectory to beat Ohio State that year. And I'll never forget what happened in the fourth quarter. Cade McNamara fumbles the ball. The announcer at the time was doing a really good job announcing the game. What did he say? I think he said Penn State ball, and then I'm like, here we go again. Because if you're a Michigan fan, you know what I mean when I say here we go again. Michigan for years were hardball. It'd get to the fourth quarter, it'd get tight, and then there were quite a bit of time to where we were choked. And I remember Cade McNamara fumbled the ball, got sacked. Penn State got the rock. 3 and out. They kicked the field goal. It was 14-17. We got the ball with like 4 minutes left. I'm like, but we was driving. Hassan Hacks, what was his name? Hassan Haskins was running that toting that rock, and I remember it was a second down play. It was I think it was a blitz, and it was man coverage. With the safety covering, I think Eli was his name, Eric All, I believe. And it was a second down, and Cade connected to Eric, and then he took that rock. He took the ball all the way to the touchdown. Uh, well, he scored a touchdown. That's a better way to say it. Um, yeah, that was. And then our defense came and defended properly and rightly, and we won that game. So that would probably be my number 6. This is a very fluid list, just to be honest. So, um, my number 7 would probably be Michigan versus Ohio State, 1997. For me, I was a little kid. I didn't understand the sport of football. I just know though that Charles Woodson really won the Heisman with that game. Uh, the fight that he had with that cornerback from Ohio State, the punt return that he took back to the house, the plays that he made on offense. Yeah, that's the Charles Woodson game. So that was the game that put us in the national championship. So that'll be my number 7. And then my number 8 honorable mention will probably be, and let me tell you something. Uh, I'm giving you guys a little bit of some rankings. We're saying 6, 7, and 8. You can plug and play. You can plug and play with these rankings. But Ohio State, Ohio State is the enemy. Sorry for saying them in a positive light. Michigan versus Florida. Michigan versus Florida. That was Lloyd Carr's last game. That game was awesome. Florida had Tim Tebow, Percy Harvin, Urban Meyer. They had it all. I believe that was the year Tebow won the Heisman. everybody had us losing. I forget what bowl game it was. It might have been a Capital One. I can't remember, but I know it was a bowl game. I believe in Florida. And I remember Lloyd Carr used to get criticized because his offense was very boring, very basic. It wasn't exotic, and he got criticized that whole year, and pretty much the time that he was there after the national championship. I think when he started to not develop a team to get to the championship again. And so Lloyd Carr came out, and Michigan, you should go back and watch it. Michigan came out in a totally different offense. It was like a spread offense, but it was still done in a way where you can still see Michigan powerful style and running the rock. You had Mike Hart, you had Chad Henning. No, I think is his name. Chad Henne. I think that's his name. I think you might have had Mario Manningham. I think you had. I can't remember all the players, but they had some talent. And also too, like this was the time. I think this was after the year, either 1 year away from that season that we almost went undefeated and lost to Ohio State, or probably 2 years away, either or. But this was the game that Lloyd Carr really showed the world that, hey, if I really want to, I can do what is necessary to win a game in a way that is different from my normal way of coaching. And so it was a good game. It was in spread the whole game, like 70 to 80% of the time, but they were still able to run the ball, you know. And so, um, and I mean, if you're accustomed to Michigan football, you know that they're not. At least back then, they weren't a spread team. And when I say spread, I mean like more times than not, you have four receivers out there. You know what I'm saying, ready to go out and you know get a catch, get some catches going on. Um, so yeah, um, you know, Michigan normally was accustomed to two tight ends, fullback, running back, um, run the ball, play action pass. You know, maybe go deep ever so often. Very conservative. Yeah. So yeah, that's my honorable mention list. Um, yeah, and I could probably put some more games on that list, but those are my three games that I would say didn't make the top five. So my top five list, number five, I would say would be the Michigan versus Washington 2024 national championship game. Um, it wasn't an exciting game. It was exciting in the first quarter, in the fourth quarter, but um, Donovan Edwards finally came to play. He had two big plays, I believe, in the first quarter, and really in the fourth quarter, um, J.J. McCarthy made some plays, uh, and so Loveland made some plays. Um, so yeah, Blake made some plays too. Um, he made some plays, but we had Donovan Edwards uh, and J.J. McCarthy and Loveland and Blake and we had some ballers. We had some ballers, but that's my top five game because that was the game where we won the national championship, and so that has to be in the top 5 list. Uh, you know, um, yeah, yeah. But that, like I said, that game really wasn't. It really wasn't exciting. It really wasn't. I'm checking something real quick. Yep, Blake Corum. It really wasn't exciting, and it was just the game that got us the national championship. And keep in mind too. I mean, all year the 2023 college football season was all about Michigan cheating and sign stealing, and they don't deserve to be in the Big Ten championship, and they don't deserve to be in the college football playoffs, and Big Ten coaches complaining and crying and saying that all our championships should be taken away and they don't count, and Harbaugh getting suspended for 6 games, and we still through all of that went 15-0. So, well, yep, 15-0. So, yeah. So yeah, that to me, the fact that Harbaugh got suspended the first 3 games of the year for some hamburger gate type, I guess, allegation or whatnot. And then he got suspended for the last 3 games of the year, in which we had our hardest 3 games of the year with playing Maryland, Penn State, and Ohio State. To still win, and then to go to the college football playoff and win out and beat Washington, I have to put that in my top 5 for now. Okay. Number 4, Michigan versus Ohio State 2023. I just gave you the history of that college football year for Michigan. Um, keep in mind, we were playing at Ohio State without Harbaugh, and the whole world once again had Michigan losing that game, and we won, and we dominated them once again, specifically in running the football. That was a game where JJ made some plays. Blake Corum made some beautiful plays. And we had that interception in the fourth quarter, last play of the game. I actually have a reaction video on my channel where you can see me going crazy. But yeah, yeah, that's in my top 5 because of the context of the game. Like, we don't have Harbaugh. We got Sherrone Moore. We're playing Ohio State. Both teams are undefeated. We're playing at Ohio State. No, 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 no. I'm tripping. That game was at Michigan. We was playing at Michigan, so that's my bad. We was playing in the big house, but still, with everything else on the line, to be able to go into that game at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and for 3 hours, make it so that you can win this game to go to the Big Ten championship. It's in my top 5. It's number 4. So, um, yeah. Number 3. This is the game I was thinking about. Number 3 all time would be Michigan versus Ohio State 2022. Now that game, I'm not gonna lie to you all. Both teams were 11-0. I came into that game like, we're probably gonna lose this game. Ohio State just was ridiculous that year, playing every other team, just ridiculous, and just how good they were. And and we was playing at Ohio State. And I'm like, I remember the beginning of the game. I think it was I think it was 10-3, 3-3 or 10-3. And it was I think 3rd and 9 or 3rd and 7. And I think JJ might have been on his back foot and he threw it. Who did he throw that? Who did he throw it to? Let me see real quick. I gotta check my mind. Michigan, because it was the receiver he threw it to was just going crazy that game. Let me see. He was going crazy. Let me see. 1 second, 1 second. Cornelius Johnson. Yeah. Cornelius Johnson. For some reason, Cornelius Johnson, when it came to playing Ohio State, I mean, he just came to play. I don't know what it was, but he came to play. I think in that game he had 160 yards receiving on 4 catches and 2 touchdowns. So I remember it was that 3rd down and JJ threw it and he caught it and took it to the house. And then I'm like, okay, it's 10 up. All right. Just we're in there. And then we got to stop. I remember this. I think the stop was they went for it on 4th down, and we stopped them. Somebody had a drop pass on their team, and then JJ came back, boom, and threw like another 80-yard pass to Cornelius Johnson. I'm like, man, it's 17-10. I'm like, okay. And so that game was epic. That game was epic because we had like 5 or 6 haymakers in that game. Just plays that were like 40, 50, 60-yard plays, You had the 4th quarter. We just had big plays that game. I remember in the 4th quarter, Donovan Edwards broke one for like 80 yards, and then he broke another one for like 70, 80 yards, broke their back. And then even prior to that, it was like 31-23, and Ohio State was in the red zone. And I think it was like 3rd down, and Sandstrip made probably the best play of the game, made an amazing play where my man's caught it, and Sandstrip was like, boom, Mikey, and then that was the game too where let me see something real quick. Forgot my names. Yeah, Khalil Mullings. They had gave him the ball and then he ran up and then he had threw it like I think 20, 30 yards. And then we had another play, I think, in 3rd quarter where JJ threw it to Loveland for a 40-yard, 30-yard touchdown. And then I remember it was on that 3rd down when we was in the red zone and they ran it and JJ ran it in. Man, that was a great game. That was a great game. I think I got a reaction video for that game as well, but that was a great game. So yeah, that's definitely number 3. Yeah, that's number 3. Number 2 would be Michigan versus Alabama. Oh man, this game could easily be number 1. First of all, you got Michigan versus Alabama. These programs, in my opinion, historically, are the top 2 football programs out there. These 2 programs are blue blood programs. Not to mention, you got Michigan and you got Bama. You got Harbaugh and you got Nick Saban. You got the Rose Bowl. You got the winner of this game goes to the national championship. I mean, you just had it all, you know. Bama just beat Georgia in the SEC championship, and Bama is Bama. Had about 23 five-star athletes. We had about probably two, Will Johnson, JJ maybe, and so that game was just wow. I went through so many passions and emotions watching that game. Um, yeah, the key moments of that game was the first quarter and the fourth quarter. The first quarter, our defense was just ferocious. They were nasty. We was sacking their quarterback just a lot, you know. And in that first quarter, I'm like, we look more physical than Alabama. You know, we are out bamming Alabama. And we was just dominant. And then Michigan started doing old Michigan things. And then we got to I think the third or fourth quarter, and we made some plays, but we couldn't convert anything. We couldn't get no touchdown. We was missed. I think we missed a field goal. I'll never forget though. I think can't remember how it happened, but no, I remember how it happened. It was 13-17. We just got a fumble recovery. Didn't do nothing with the ball. Bama gets the ball back. We was able to hold them to 3 points. It was 2013. It's the Rose Bowl. It's the fourth quarter, like 3 minutes left. I'm like, whatever. Here we go again. Here we go again. And then keep in mind, this is the third time we've been in the college football playoff. The first time we went, lost to Georgia, got blown out. Second time we went, lost to TCU, should have never lost that game. And it's 20-13 against Alabama with Nick Saban on the sideline. I'm like, yep, we're not gonna get this again. And then it was third down. We did some pass play that should have got intercepted, almost got intercepted. It was fourth down. I think it was my 4th and 2. And we did a play where we really haven't done nothing like this until this game, where we had Blake running to the flats and was throwing him a pass. We did it twice, I think, that game. But we threw it to him. He was wide open. And that one almost got batted down as well, by one of their DNs. And Blake took it like 30 yards, and then Roman Wilson had got a penalty. So I was thinking like, man, this about to be called back. But it wasn't called back. They just deducted 10 yards from wherever we had landed in the run, or in the completion or whatnot. And then I think either a play or two later, JJ threw this beautiful pass to Roman Wilson, where it was like that one almost could have got picked, but it was like perfect. But who made the play was Roman Wilson, where he jumped so high to catch it. And Roman was like only 5'9". And he caught it. And then we went down. We scored. It was like 20-20. Then we got to stop. And then they punted the ball to us. And then our punt return, I can't remember his name. He catches it, but then he fumbles it. I don't even think he caught it. He touched it, and then it went backwards, and then Bama almost made us get a safety, and then it goes to overtime, and then Bama gets the ball, and I was so happy. No, I think it went to Let me see something. Did it go to double overtime? Let me see. I think it went to. I think it went to. Let me see. I think it went to either overtime. Let me see. Yep, it was an OT. Yep, it was an OT, and Bama got the ball first. No, 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 no. We got the ball first, and I was happy about that because I'm like, we can set the tone, we can score, which we did with Blake. Blake had this epic run. I actually got a picture here. I wish I could show it to you, but I don't want to mess up the camera. But Blake had this epic run, put us up 27-20, and then we got on defense, and then um Mason Graham made a beast play, I think, on second down. Then on third down, they threw a pass near the end zone, but it got stopped short. Then on fourth down, they did a run with I think Jalen Milroe from Bama, and then we stopped them. And then it just was crazy. I'm like, ah! I was so worn out after that game. I probably burned like 500 calories. So yeah, that's number two all time. Honestly, that can easily be number one. That can easily be number one. So, last but not least, my number one Michigan football game of all time. I think you already know. Michigan versus Ohio State 2021. That is the greatest football game. That is the greatest college football game, and arguably the greatest football game I've ever seen in my life. First of all, we got to think of the context. Okay. The year before, Michigan went like 2-4. Harbaugh was getting paid like $7.5 million, and Harbaugh took a pay cut. This was really Harbaugh's last year. And at this point, I was kind of done with Harbaugh. I'm like, you know what? I love you, but you're not getting us crossing the finish line. We lost to Michigan State that year where we shouldn't have lost. We were up like 31-13 and all of a sudden lost. I think 34-38. We had that epic game against Penn State at Penn State. We just got done beating Maryland, which was that was a great game too. That was a good game. That was a good game. And here we go. We haven't beaten Ohio State in like 8 years, 9 years. It's been like 2,000 plus days. We're number 5 in the country. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, those other games I mentioned, um, Ohio State and Michigan in 2022 and in 2023 were always ranked in the top 4. Ohio State was number 3 and we were number 2. In this game, though, 2021, we were number 5 and they were number 2. And they had, I mean, arguably that was Ohio State's best offense ever. Like arguably, let me read. I mean, they had. Let me tell you. Let me show you who they had on offense. Like they had an offense. Like they had an offense. They had C.J. Stroud. They had Travion Henderson. They had Jackson Smith Njigba. I think that's how you say his name. They had Garrett Wilson. They had Chris, I think Olave, and they had Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he was a freshman there. They had it all, and they just beat Michigan State that year. Prior to that game, 56-7. So I'm like, ooh, wee. But that game is here. I'm ready. I do my morning ritual. Um, that game is. There were passion slash emotions that I experienced that I didn't even know I had watching that game. That's why you gotta be careful because you don't want to make things an idol. But that game was epic. You need to watch that game. You had first of all, let me walk you through the game. First of all, Michigan got the ball, and the way we came out that first drive, I was like, ooh, this is gonna be a different game. We came out physical. We came out smash mouth. We came out running the rock. We came out disciplined. We came out and we was like, we're gonna win this game. Um, Michigan comes out. They take the lead. I wish I was getting some of these plays up so I can show y'all. Like once you know, um, once I get more familiar with my system in regard to like recording videos, I'm gonna start showing y'all stuff. But um, Michigan scored 7-zip. You had Aiden Hutchinson on the defense. You had Ojabo was the other DN. You had Ojabo. You had Aiden Hutchinson. Um, you had you didn't have Will Johnson. Not yet, but we have some guys. Let me get what we had. Hold on. Let me see. Um, yep. You had K McNamara as our quarterback. Hassan Hacken Hassan Hack ah, Hassan Haskins, I'm sorry. Blake Corum and AJ Henning. JJ McCarthy, you had Roman Wilson, you had Cornelius Johnson. That's what you had. Mike Sandestro, who was on offense. You had Donovan Edwards, who that's when he was Donovan Edwards. You had Eric All. You had Andrew Anthony. Man, we had a squad. We had Rob Moore, Aiden Hutchinson, DJ Turner, Vincent Gray, Daxton Hill, Ajabo, Mike Barrett, Junior Colson. Man, we should have won the champ. Mazzy Smith. Yeah, that game. Ooh, we had some ballers. I didn't realize how much ballers we had. But yeah, man, we came out 7-zip. Then Ohio State came back and they scored. Then I think they made it. I think it was no. They got a field goal. Then it was that. Then we had some tussles going back and forth. And um then Ohio State took the lead, had some fluke catch on Vincent Gray in the end zone, made it 10-7. And I'll never forget, it was coming. And then K McNamara threw this beautiful, like 40 to 50-yard bomb to Cornelia Johnson, and he caught it and he slid in the end zone. And he slid in the end zone because you had all the snow on the ground. And that was something that I was like, ooh, wait, this gonna play into Michigan's favor because it started to snow. And then we were running a football team, so when it snows, that plays in our favor. So then we took the lead. It was 14-10. And then I think it went into halftime 14-10. And then let me see. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. It went into halftime 14-10. And I will never forget. We came out of half. Ohio State had the ball, and it was third, and I think 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 4, and they gave the ball to Travion Henderson, and it wasn't Mike Barrett. It was what was his name? Oh, we had Josh Ross. Huh. Josh Ross came in and made this beast play, probably one of the best plays of the game. Made this play. They put us the ball. Blake takes it for like 40 to 50, and then And then I think it was another big play, either that or a penalty. And then we scored, went up 21-10. And then, no, 21, yeah, 21-10. Yep. And then, did we go up 21-10? Yeah, we won 21-10. And then, I'm actually surprised. I don't remember the score being that way. Yeah, we was up. I'm looking at the score, 28 to. Oh, no. I'm sorry. We went into halftime. My brain, I got so much on my mind. So excited. We went into halftime up 14-13, and then in the third quarter we scored 2 touchdowns. And went up 28-13. And I'm like, what? And then yeah. Man. And actually, um yep, it was 28-13 because we scored and then we scored again, took a 2 touchdown lead, and then Ohio State came and scored. I remember it was 20-28, and then we scored again, running the rock as always. And then I'll never forget, it was 35-20, and the camera went to the sideline, and all you seen was Harbaugh like, let's go, let's go. And then of course Ohio State scored again. And I'm like, here we go. And then um and then Michigan had the ball. It's like 3 or 4 minutes left. We're up 8. I'm like, come on, Michigan, don't do me like this. And they kept feeding. And I say that because I'm like, here we go. Are we gonna choke or are we gonna succeed? And then let alone uh man, um Hassan Haskins just kept running the ball, kept running the ball, kept running the ball. Then he ran down, and and then we scored. And then it was 42-27. And then we stopped them. And then we won the game. And so, I mean, if you watch that game, and if you watch the aftermath of that game, I mean, the way the crowd was on the field, people weren't caring about anything. They was congratulating Harbaugh and the players, and Harbaugh was happy, and Aiden Hutchinson was like, and he had like 3 sacks and broke the sack record for Michigan, and it was just the best game of all time for me. So yeah, that's a. And we finally beat Ohio State. It was a point in time where I was like, we ain't never gonna beat them. I'm gonna be like 80 years old, and we still not gonna beat Ohio State. We just couldn't get over the hump. But now we 4-0 against them. So since that game, since that game, we've been 3-0. So, um, but yeah, that's the #1 game of all time. That's on my all-time list. Then nothing's gonna trump that game because of the context, Because Harbaugh lose that game, he's gone. And honestly, if Harbaugh and Michigan lose that game, I don't see them winning the national championship 2 years later. So, um, so yeah. That's my top 5. I'm surprised this video was this long. I didn't think it was gonna be 45 minutes, but I had to talk through the plays and talk through the games, and I'm happy to do a video once again. I'll make sure to try to be more regular and consistent in doing these videos. And like always, if you enjoyed this, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Take care and have a good day.